Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome to my long-awaited 1 to 99 mining guide. In this video, I will cover all of the most efficient methods for mining training at any level, as well as options for profiting, lower click intensity, and free-to-play. We'll start with the index of the guide, where you can click the annotation links on screen to skip to different sections of the guide. I'll start off with some prerequisites and recommendations for mining training. To start with the basics, the only item you absolutely need to train mining is a pickaxe. Pickaxes up to rune can be purchased from an NPC named Nermoth in the Dwarven Mines, and all pickaxes can be purchased at the Grand Exchange. The types of pickaxes and level requirements for each can be seen on screen now. You should always be using the best pickaxe that you can. It's worth noting that the 3rd Age pickaxe has the same success rate as the Dragon pickaxe and cannot be made infernal. Varrock armor is very good for standard mining because it gives a 10% chance of mining 2 ores at once for full experience. Higher level Varrock armor affects higher level ores, and Varrock armor 4 has the added benefit of also acting as a prospector top to complete the bonus XP set. Varrock armor 1 plus is needed for iron, and Varrock armor 2 plus is needed for quarry mining. The chance of double ores only affects standard rocks, so it doesn't do anything at Motherlode Mine or the Blast Mine. The requirements for this are relatively low, and I would highly recommend getting Varrock armor for your training. Another useful item to have is the Infernal Pickaxe. This does have a fairly high smithing requirement of 85 to make, but it gives a 1 in 3 chance of burning ores that you mine, once again only standard ore, so not MLM or Blast Mine, for small amounts of smithing experience. This has 2 benefits, one of which is of course the passive smithing experience, and the other is that you won't have to be dropping as much since some ores are being destroyed, which lowers the click intensity of power mining. To make an Infernal Pickaxe, you combine a Smoldering Stone with a Dragon pickaxe, and it must be recharged after a certain amount of rocks mined. With granite mining, it lasts for 970k XP before needing to be recharged with another Smoldering Stone or Dragon pickaxe. As of now, Smoldering Stones are cheaper, so it's better to recharge it with them. If you want advice on smithing training, see my 1 to 99 smithing guide linked on screen now. If you choose to do quarry mining, then there are a few small things that will make it a bit more convenient. Completion of the Anakra's Lament quest gives you the Camulet, which offers a close teleport to the quarry. Completion of the Desert Elite Diary offers the Desert Amulet 4, which provides unlimited protection against desert heat when worn. This diary also allows players to teleport slightly closer to the quarry with the Camulet. If you have 99 hit points, you can do without the Desert Amulet 4 and sustain your hit points by wearing the Hit Points Cape in conjunction with a Regen Bracelet. These will heal you more than the desert damage will deal you. If you don't have either 99 hit points or the Desert Amulet 4, then water skins are necessary to survive in the desert. If you choose to 3-tick mine, you will likely be using herbs and tar, and having an herb sack from Slayer can be convenient for inventory space since you will occasionally use up herbs from mistakes. This is of course not required, but nice to have. It costs 750 Slayer points and can be purchased from any Slayer Master. Finally, having Magic Imbue unlocked can be nice to gain passive magic experience while mining. It has no effect on mining XP rate, so it's completely optional. It requires 82 magic and completion of the Lunar Diplomacy quest. Another thing to touch on before getting into the training methods is the Prospector outfit. This is an outfit that can be obtained from training at the Motherlode Mine and offers a 2.5% XP bonus in mining. Many people will probably wonder whether it's actually time efficient to get this outfit. If 99 is your goal, then it will save you 325k experience if used along the whole way. Prospector takes about 10 to 15 hours to get. If you plan to do only the most efficient methods for XP, then it's not worth it to get this outfit. The time it takes to get it outweighs the time it actually saves through the extra experience you would get from it. That being said, full Prospector is required for the Falador Achievement Diary, which is useful to have completed, so if you plan to do that diary, then you may as well get the Prospector set before you get 99 mining and get some use out of the set there as well. In this case, I would actually recommend waiting until 85 mining to get the set, because at that point you will be getting Runite ores from the Motherlode for better profits, and it will take significantly less time to get than if you went for it in the 60s or 70s. If you plan to do slower methods of mining for less click intensity or for profiting, then Prospector probably is worth getting just for the sake of the time saving. The choice is yours. I would recommend starting mining by doing Doric's quest. This quest should take 5 or less minutes to complete since it consists of buying 6 clay, 4 copper, and 2 iron ores from the GE, and then taking them to Doric north of Falador. This gives you 1300 mining XP, which will get you directly to level 10. This can be done in free-to-play or members. From here, if you're a member, you can do the Dig Site quest, which will take a bit longer, but is a prerequisite for other useful quests such as Desert Treasure. If you plan to get this quest done eventually, which you probably should, it's better to get it done earlier and take full advantage of the mining XP reward. It gives 15.3k mining XP and will get you from level 10 to level 32. If you don't want to do the Dig Site quest, mine copper or tin until level 15, and then you can move on to iron. Copper and tin can be found in many places around RuneScape, such as in the Dwarven Mines near Doric, in various mines surrounding Varrock, and in many members' locations. If you do the dig site quest, move on to iron ore once it is completed. There are a few other quests you can do for mining XP, but they don't give as much. If you plan to get them done eventually, earlier is better, but it's up to you. I'll link a wiki page to find all quest experience rewards in the description. Iron mining is the fastest experience from level 15 to level 70. By far the best way to mine iron is to drop mine it, meaning you drop ores as you mine them. Banking slows down your XP rate significantly, and iron ore is not worth very much anyways. If you're interested in mining for profit, I would strongly recommend still doing efficient power mining methods until 75 and then moving to the blast mine. There are 2 ways to power mine iron. The first and more well-known way is to find a 3 rock spot, of which there are 5 in-game, and mining the 3 rocks and then dropping the ores while you wait for them to respawn. The places you can do this at are Al Kharid, the only free-to-play spot, East Ardoin, Pescadores, the Lovakeng area, and the Wilderness Resource area. Using some sort of mouse keys or AHK for dropping ores definitely will make this easier, but is not necessary. The XP rates depend on your mining level, of course, but with a Varrock armor this will get as high as 50 to 60k XP per hour. The second way of power mining iron is noticeably faster, but also significantly more difficult. Tar and herbs can be used to continuously 3-tick mine iron ore, which requires very precise timing and clicks, and dropping between mining cycles. I would only suggest trying to learn this method if you want to challenge yourself or plan to continue 3-tick mining on granite once you reach the level for it. 3-tick mining is the fastest experience in the game, and the same method can be used on granite to get over 100k XP an hour at higher levels. If your goal isn't 99, then it probably isn't worth the time to learn this method, because while learning it your XP rates will probably be pretty bad, and it can be quite frustrating to learn. I won't be covering 3-tick methods in detail in this video, but I will at least show a clip of it. I will have a separate video on 3-tick mining coming out shortly after I release this guide, and I will be sure to link to it once I release it. No matter your goal, I would definitely recommend iron mining until at least level 70. At this point, quarry mining through the 3-tick 4 granite method will be faster if you know what you're doing there. If not, you might want to stick with iron until 75 or 80. It's hard for me to test rates at those levels and know that the quarry or iron have pretty similar rates in that level range, so it may just come down to personal preference. Another option for iron mining is to use the Wilderness Hobgoblin mine. There's a set of 4 rocks here that can be used to 3-tick mine in members a bit easier than the East Ardoin spot, and this spot is also available in free-to-play. The downsides of this spot are, of course, you're in the wilderness, so you do risk running into PKers, and also you have to wait 15 minutes at the Hobgoblin mine before you can really start mining for the Hobgoblins to de-aggro against you. But in free-to-play, you probably won't run across a ton of PKers here because there isn't a huge incentive to PK Deep Wilderness in free-to-play, and the 15-minute timer shouldn't be too much of a problem. In this clip, I'm showing a free-to-play setup and a tick manipulation method that is allowing me to alternate between 3 and 4 ticks per iron ore, which is the fastest free-to-play mining method. By attempting to attack the Hobgoblin with an empty shortbow, I'm starting an action cycle that finishes when I get to the next rock, and saves a tick every time my character moves between rocks. If you are a free-to-play only player, then this is the fastest way to train mining all the way up to level 99. People who have done this at high levels in free-to-play reasonably obtain about 57k XP per hour, though the perfect tick rate could be as high as 60k per hour. When you do switch to the quarry, there are 3 options for how to train there. Simple 2 sandstone 2 granite, 3-tick 2 sandstone 2 granite, and 3-tick 4 granite. At the quarry, you will need desert heat protection. You need to wear either desert robes or prospector, since prospector provides equal desert heat protection to desert robes. These increase the amount of time between damage hit splats but don't remove it entirely. You will also need either water skins or desert amulet 4 equipped, or the HBK plus region brace equipped as I mentioned earlier. If you take water skins, you can take astral fire and water runes for humidify to fill them once they run out, or you can just bank for more. 10 full water skins should last an hour. The fastest way to get to the quarry is using the Camulet, which is obtained from the Anakra's Lament quest. The Camulet's teleport brings you to the temple right next to the quarry, and if you have the Desert Elite Diary completed, it gives you the option to teleport right to the surface above the temple. If you don't have the Camulet, then the Pharaoh Scepter teleport to Jaldarak is the next closest teleport. If all else fails, you can take the carpet ride from the Shantae Pass to the Bedouin camp and run south for a bit to get there. The first and simplest quarry mining method is basic 2 sandstone 2 granite, or 2 S2G as many people call it. You will be moving between 2 tiles and mining the rocks adjacent to them. Each tile has 1 sandstone rock and 1 granite rock adjacent to it. It's best to drop rocks from your inventory while moving between the 2 tiles. For basic 2 SUG, I would say it's best to prioritize sandstone, meaning after you've mined both rocks at one tile, you click the sandstone rock adjacent to the next tile. This is because sandstone has a higher success rate than granite. Since granite on average takes longer to mine than sandstone, if you mine the sandstone first and then the granite, there's a higher chance that the granite will be slow to mine and the sandstone will respawn by the time you finish mining it, which will make you have to move between rocks slightly less often, thus saving a small amount of time. It takes 3 ticks per rock that you mine, but moving between tiles adds an extra 2 ticks, so you're essentially alternating between 3 and 5 ticks per rock. It will be slightly less than this though, since you sometimes will take multiple attempts to mine a rock, each of which will be 3 ticks. As far as XP rates, this method can get as high as about 82k XP per hour at level 99 with Prospector, Varrock Armor, and the Mining Cape perk. It'll be somewhere around 60k per hour at level 80, and should be 70k plus for most of the 90s. I personally would not recommend this method of mining because blast mining, which I'll touch on more later, is only slightly slower XP than this, is noticeably less click intensive, and offers a nice amount of profit. The next quarry method is 3-tick 2SGG. This method is significantly faster than the basic 2SGG method because you're using tar to mitigate the time it takes to move between rocks, making it so you're consistently mining every 3 ticks even while moving. In order to make this work, you have to use tar and herb and click the next rock on the same game tick. The timing has to be very precise, which can be hard to pick up at first, but it's not too hard once you get the hang of it. I find this method actually be more relaxed than simple 2SGG because you never need to wait to mine a rock. Since it's always 3 ticks per attempt whether you're moving or not, you can keep a very even cycle of mining and ignore the RNG based rock failure completely without any lost XP. Once again, you need to drop rocks as you're moving between them. I do plan to spend more time explaining the full mechanics of this method in a separate video, but the biggest piece of advice I can give is just to practice and fiddle around with it until it works. The timing isn't easy at first, but you get a feel for it with practice. As far as XP rates, this gets as high as 105k an hour at level 99, and should be around 80k an hour from level 80, scaling up roughly 1k XP per hour per level until 99. This method is definitely worth doing over blast mining if you care about high rates and don't mind the click intensity, and even if you want to do 4 granite mining for the best rates, it can be a nice place to start learning the mechanics and feel of 3-tick mining. The final quarry method is known as 3-tick 4 granite or just 4G. This is the fastest known mining method in the game and is the method I use to get from 37 mil to 200 mil mining XP. I would say it's one of the most click intensive and difficult methods to maintain high rates with for long periods of time, and it can be difficult to learn as well. With this method, you're still using 3-tick mining with herbs, but you have to use them between every single rock instead of between every other rock like at 2SGG. There are no spots in the quarry arranged similarly to 2SGG with only granite rocks, which is why 2SGG was and still is widely used. Having to move between rocks only every other rock instead of every rock is much better if you aren't using any form of tick manipulation, because of those 2 extra ticks it takes to move between rocks that I mentioned earlier. But since herbs and tar make it so moving between rocks takes no extra time, if you're using them, it's no problem to move for every rock, and thus mining only granite rocks becomes realistic. The biggest thing to keep in mind when learning this method is that it's not just using tar and an herb and then clicking the next rock. All of that has to happen in the same game tick, so you have to be quick, and you basically have to click the tar and herb together on the beginning of a game tick to leave yourself enough time to click to the next rock. It's very hard to differentiate this kind of precise timing while you're doing it, so it's more about getting the feel for the method. The easiest way to determine whether you've gotten the timing right is to look closely at your character's movement and animations. If your character starts the pestle and mortar animation only after they've begun to move, then the timing is correct. If your character starts the pestle and mortar animation and then begins to move, then the timing is wrong and you need to start over by waiting 3 ticks at the next rock you've just moved to. This method is hard to explain and hard to learn, but with patience and persistence, you will get the hang of it. When first practicing it, I would say it took me 10 to 15 hours of practice to get fairly proficient at it, and I continued making small adjustments to my method and picking up more things about the timing well past 100 mil XP. At 99 it can get as high as 130k XP per hour perfect tick, though realistically one can expect to average about 115 to 120k an hour over long periods of time. At level 70 the max rate of this method is about 90k XP per hour, making it significantly better than iron even then. If you don't mind high click intensity and want the best rates, this is the method you should use from level 70 to level 99. At this point I've covered the most time efficient methods for 99 mining, but there are some reasonable alternatives. If all you care about is AFK and you don't mind getting low XP rates, then Motherlode Mine is your best bet. Motherlode also offers mediocre profit, whereas power mining doesn't profit at all. You need a minimum of 35 mining to start mining there. The Motherlode can be found within the Dwarven Mines right near the East Falador entrance. The basic process here is that you mine pay dirt from the walls of the area, then take it to the hopper to be cleaned into normal ores. You can get ores from coal up to runite depending on your mining level. Up to 4 inventories can be mined before having to empty the sack and bank the ores. This can only be achieved if you deposit 80 or less pay dirt in the first 3 inventories, so either keep 2 items in your inventory and always deposit 26 pay dirt, or deposit 26, then 27, then 27 to add up to 80, and then you can deposit 28 if you want to maximize ore storage. Once you get 100 nuggets, I would recommend buying a coal bag, since you can store coal in it that you would collect from the sack and often empty the sack in 3 trips to the bank instead of 4, saving a small amount of time. At 72 plus mining, you can pay 100 nuggets to unlock the upstairs area of the mine, which is a bit closer to the hopper and usually less crowded as well. I'd recommend doing this if you plan to mine here for a long time. Motherlode mine, of course, gets faster as your level increases, and at 99 can get as high as 45 to 50k XP per hour. Profit varies on ore prices, but can be in the region of 400 to 500k GP per hour. Another very nice alternative mining method is blast mining. Blast mining is not AFK, but is not anywhere near as click intensive as power mining. I would recommend blast mining from 75 plus, since that's where you can start getting runite ores from there, but you can do it at lower levels if you choose. At 75, it's 50 to 60k XP per hour. In order to be able to use the blast mine, you will have to have 100% favor in the Lova King house on Zeah. This will take 2 to 4 hours, but is a small price to pay for how good blast mining is. I'll link a guide on Zeah favors in the description, and I'll also be linking you guys to a guide on blast mining by a friend of mine if you're interested in learning this method. I personally have never done it, and rather than taking a bunch of time to learn it when I'm already 200 mil mining and have nothing to gain from it, I'll refer you all to him. He's gotten a lot of XP there while getting 99 mining, and his guide explains it very well. I would say that unless you're going to 3-tick mine at the quarry, you're better off doing blast mining because it's only a small amount slower than standard quarrying and offers a nice amount of profit. I've now covered all of the mining methods that I consider at all worth doing. Hopefully this information is what you need to get yourself to 99 mining efficiently, and once again I will link you all to my separate video going into more detail on 3-tick mining methods. If you have any further questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section below and I will do my best to respond. Thank you all for watching, be sure to drop a like on this video if it helped you out, and subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you guys all later.